I have
Oh,
almost had the messages from my higher self, especially the last few weeks, to just like hold steady in that sense. Like there's not a whole lot that we have to do except for just be ourselves and keep doing what we do and just letting the energies come in.
welcome to Conversation for the Soul. I'm Linda Christine, and today I talk with Danielle Wilk. What a beautifully centered, peaceful, gentle soul. I really believe you're going to like Danielle. She is an intuitive coach. She works with twin flames. We talk about all of that. She shares some of her twin flame journey with us. And she also shares an intuitive reading with us at the end, as well as a wonderful grounding and expansive meditation. And we talk about lots of things that are going on with the energy and the collective at the moment. So would love to have you join us for today's conversation. And please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. It's the way beautiful souls like Danielle get their stories out there. And these stories make wonderful teachers. So here we go with Danielle Wilk. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Let me know what you think in the comments. Welcome, Danielle. It's so wonderful to have you today.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we were just talking about the crazy energy of today, May 4th, before we got on here. You got it a day early, though. I got it today.
Yeah. It's funny because it seems like I wonder if it hits parts of the collective different so we can hold space and balance for one another.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Yeah, because most of the time I feel like I'm off. I'm either a week ahead or a week behind or a couple days off, ahead or behind. So yeah, that would
Yeah.
make complete sense.
I also wonder if it's like what the collectives that we work with too, like we're working with those cycles of the people who will come to us. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm not going to dive too much into your past because I know you're all over social media. You're on YouTube quite a bit with your own channel. I just saw you were just on Sology last week.
Yeah,
So, let's talk about other things.
sure. Whatever you
Okay.
want to talk about.
What what's the biggest thing that you've been noticing that's coming up in the collective as of late?
Well, hmm. The streams that I work with, I work a lot in relationships. Not like romantic relationships, but just all sorts of dynamics. And what I'm seeing is like whether it's parent and children or like I said, romantic work, there seems to be a really big shift with people um being able to hold space for the people that they love without when unraveling out of the codependency. It's,
Mm.
I don't know, like over the years, like it feels like these last few years, even those of us that were already working on unraveling out of codependency, it seems like we didn't even realize how it was so intertwined in all of society. So, but it feels like we've really been unraveling out of that and just noticing really big shifts with that. People feeling more comfortable with being able to set healthy boundaries and kind of either let their kids go or a partner go with love.
Yeah.
Um, so that's been really noticeable theme, but in particular, even over the last couple days, kind of like really big things. So
Yeah, it feels like relationships right now are very tenuous.
mhm.
Um, like if you don't have that solid foundation there, you're gonna have a lot of challenges to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm also noticing there's so much, it's kind of like my vision of how I've seen it. It's like we kind of were all born into faulty foundations relationship wise, just because of the way that it was all set up. So it seems like sometimes there is that crumbling, but not like doesn't mean for good. Like we kind of might come back together in new ways under new
Mm.
foundations. I've actually even experienced some of that in friendships where we kind of knew we had to step away to, it was interesting, like stepping away to drop into everything we had been learning and then coming back like in a new healthy way. But it wasn't because anybody was doing anything wrong. We
Yeah.
just needed this space to actually embody it all the way. So,
Mm.
and kind of cool in that way.
Wow, that is neat. That is neat. So what do you think is going to happen like these next few months? Do you dabble in astrology at all? Because a lot of people are having a struggle today. I think they're saying because of the Pluto moon, and I'm not an astrology person. I just know how
Yeah.
I feel from day to day.
Right. I don't like, I'm aware of it and I hear the things and I can see where it works. I'm not a huge astrology person, but like you said, when there's these big, huge energies, um, one thing I've noticed is that a lot more people are paying attention to it. So I feel like because more people are, it's affecting us more because the collective consciousness is more aware of the astrological events.
Mm.
So it seems like they're definitely ramping up. But yeah, I know that it's like that 5-5 portal and the Pluto and retrograde and then the Scorpio moon eclipse. And they all, I know I saw something like that, the Pluto retrograde and the Scorpio. That's all. I know it's kind of like the death to rebirth energy. So a lot of shadow work. I get little bits and pieces, and if they resonate, I log them, you know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it does seem, I will say this, even without paying much attention to it, Monday, I got a whole bunch of calls and conversations that were people that had like big triggers around relationships.
Mm.
Um, like even if they weren't in the relationships, it was like past memories or processing. It was like it came up in their system really strong. So like things that they had
Yeah.
been stuffing down and not wanting to look at. So
That's it. That's interesting. I've had some things come up recently too that it wasn't that I hadn't looked at them, but they just like came up from out of nowhere. And
Mhm.
I'm like, that's interesting. Why is that coming up? Like I had one a couple weeks ago about all my pets, every single pet that I went through. And I started to feel this deep regret for being a poor pet owner. Like it was my fault. This happened and da 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 da. And it was like, whoa, where is that coming from?
Yeah, like yes, those deep subconscious thoughts or feelings we didn't even know that we had. I had a similar experience the past couple days. Like stuff I had looked at and thought of, but it's like it hits in a different pocket. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, time to clean that up. And, sometimes it's just that awareness that I feel like we're doing so much so fast now. It's like just holding the space to let it move out of our systems.
And that's the other thing. Time. I mean, time has been weird for a couple years now. It's getting more weird. I mean, I just can't even grab onto it. I have physical appointments that I need to keep and show up for, and it's a struggle.
Yeah.
What
I
what
feel
what do you attribute all that to? Is it just, the warping of our quantum fields or what?
I feel like definitely I'm a person who always had like this amazing memory. Like, and I can tell you stuff that happened 20 years ago, but if you asked me 20 minutes ago what happened,
Oh
you might or
yeah.
might not get an answer. And I guess, yeah, it's like we're just speeding up so much. And I feel like it's a lot about being present in the moment. And we're so much more of our energy is embodying and being present that we're not necessarily needing to hold those attachments in that way anymore.
Mm. Wow, wow. So where do you think all of this is leading to? I mean, I can't our bodies are trying to keep up with everything that's being thrown at us.
Right.
We're shifting into either ascension or light bodies or what have you. What do you think is going to happen here in the next year or so?
That is a great question, and I have no idea. I just keep
Fair
showing up
enough.
every day. But, I will say the things that I am guided to do is really just like focus on how I want to feel. And I've found kind like that unknown of like, where are we headed? I've found it in some ways refreshing because I'm not trying to control it,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that if we're evolving the ways that we are feeling, we're not going to really know what it's going to look like because it's something we've never done.
Yeah.
So I guess like just recently, actually, I started to kind of get glimpses. And when I say that, I mean like my higher self will show me like time frames, like, but I'm still not seeing much. It's like I'll see in the quantum field, like, okay, over these next 4 or 5 months, we're going to be clearing up relationship distortions. Like I'll see it in the field, but I don't know what that exactly means because I think we're working on so many deep levels, like ancestral patterns and collective patterns, that there's things coming up that we didn't even know were in ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Completely. Completely. So I was looking through some of the things that you dabble in, and it's fascinating. I found soul retrieval fascinating. What is that, and what is that like?
That is a great question too. I know there's people who do it, I guess, formally, kind of like a past life retrieval or regression.
Okay.
Mine are different, each person that I work with or each situation. I don't, sometimes it's like one aspect. So it could be, imagine like you had some trauma as a child. And so it could be something like some of that part of your energy is like frozen in the system. So we'll work with like thawing that out and just helping you to reintegrate that energy. Um, or it could be, from another dimension or another past life or another experience like that. Um, but I've also had some where people have kind of been at this space where so many past aspects or other aspects, all of the energies kind of weave together through lifetimes or through experiences. So they've actually like reintegrated multiple aspects, like
Hmm.
three, four, five, because they were all connected. So I really just like to support it with whatever, wherever the person is and what I view it like their higher self is really guiding it and what they're ready for. And I'm just there to support the process.
Wow. So how long have you been doing all of this?
Oh, well, um, it's just kind of been a progression. It was back in like 2007, 2008. I started just learning about like Reiki and past life regressions, and I went to massage school, and then I was working with people who were intuitive, and I had always been fascinated by it. And so when I was doing massage, I just kind of stuff was coming in. So with my clients, I just started saying, hey, this is what's happening. Not sure if it makes sense. And it was a lot of confirmation. So
Wow.
um, it just kind of, and then like coaching started coming natural in my massage sessions and the energy work. Pretty much I got obsessed with any form of energy work I could get my hands on. Um, and still I'm like that because we are energy, right? And so it's just been this evolution. So I would say really started practicing massage and Reiki energy work and all that, like shamanism 2009. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
I feel like I'm not a big fan of labels, but at some
yeah,
point you got to say what you do and describe
same.
yourself. And
Yeah,
it's so freaking hard anymore because to me, it feels like, okay, I got a little bit of Reiki, I got a little bit of theta healing, I got a little bit of this, and I
yes.
pull aspects of it to create my own thing.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm just like I say intuitive, which I think you do too, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
that kind of encompasses because it's different every time. And then literally I have some things on my site, but I mostly just focus on trusting that whoever's going to benefit from my work finds me,
Yeah.
because how can like so much of what we do, you really can't put it into words often. And then you're learning every time you're doing a session and it's expanding. So
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
let it kind of unfold.
It's almost like, you can't pick from the menu anymore. We just need to talk about what your needs are and then pull it in from the quantum field and see what
Yes.
happens.
Exactly. And the only reason I mean, I have some differences up there just so people can have an idea. But when I do my sessions, it's a mixture. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, it's definitely, like you said, there's not really a way to hold that back. Just let
Yeah.
it all flow.
It really needs to be. And I think that's the key. Something I'm curious to know if you felt this. For the past 6 months or so, I've felt like I had been preparing for something. Actually, probably most of last year. Preparing, getting ready, learning more, my website, all of this
Yes.
to like kind of be like, like I was getting ready for something big and then the big thing never happened.
I understand. I feel like that is still like the waves are coming. I actually did a video about this a couple days ago, I believe. I was saying like we feel like we're like ahead of the game in a lot of
Yeah.
senses. And actually it was connected to the energies that are coming in right now. What I saw and felt was that like, when like 3 years ago when the shutdown happened, there was waves of us that really hopped on that wave of transformation and
Yeah.
were preparing for the new. But a lot of the collective was in a rush to get back to their comfort zone and what they knew. Understandable. It was a lot, especially if they didn't have an awareness of all of the things that we were aware of. But what I was seeing was that a lot of that now is crumbling. Like where they
Mm,
were trying to patch the walls and the holes, it's just what's no longer in alignment is falling. And so those of us that were on that trajectory and aware, we're like preparing the way. So we're ready when the waves come. And so I get it. They literally came in and there was more to it. I'm trying to remember. It was like just keep going and holding steady and like the things that we've been waiting for or envisioning or felt were coming, like they are coming. So I have
oh.
almost had the messages from my higher self, especially the last few weeks, to just like hold steady in that sense. Like there's not a whole lot that we have to do except for just be ourselves and keep doing what we do and just letting the energies come in, to receive.
Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes, I think a lot of folks, especially I know I was when I was newer to the community, you get in this space of I need to be doing something grand and wonderful when really you just might need to be there and hold space,
Mhm.
hold light,
Yeah,
send love, compassion, all of that.
right. And I'm with you. And I feel like we had those feelings for a reason. It was pushing us because at the soul level, at the energetic level, we are holding space for grand things,
Mm,
right? And we're adjusting to what that's actually going to play out to be. And there still is that sense that it is. What I've noticed is I thought it was going to be really quick, right? And probably maybe you felt that because the way we were getting pushed.
yeah, yeah.
But now there's almost like a relaxing into it. And I think, I feel like it's somewhat connected with the feminines and the feminine energies feeling more comfortable within ourselves as well.
Mm,
And just having done the work to get to the point and now knowing we can drop into receiving, even though we're holding this space and we're going to give to the collective, but equally there's a strength in dropping into that reception and just doing what you're guided to do,
mm.
that we don't have to push.
Oh yeah, that resonates. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What talk a little bit about the divine feminine and eh, where you feel that's going in the very near future? And then also the divine masculine, because it feels like a lot more men are falling into the spiritual community all of a sudden. Like there's more guys opening up and
Yeah.
dropping into their softer parts of their masculine.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. Me and Todd talked about that.
Oh, okay.
Because surprisingly, I mean, my channel, I mean, the metrics are always changing on YouTube every 28 days, but there was a pocket of time this past month where I had like 66% masculines watching my videos.
Wow.
Yeah, and so yeah, there's definitely a shift. My sense of it, my 2 cents of it, I guess what I'm feeling in the field and in my own energy and connections, um, as the feminines are more solid in ourselves, in that kind of balanced energy, right? We, like what you spoke about, like we were guided to really get our foundations built and solid. And in that sense, like balancing our inner masculine and feminine. And as we're more grounded and centered and embodied in our energy, it's actually, we're dropping into the lower chakras. The masculines are able to rise into their higher. Like if they were
Mm.
holding the space for us while we were working, now they're able to go into their shifts.
Mm.
Kind of like what I said at the beginning, how we hold space for each other, like parts of the collective. So, yeah, it does really seem and feel that the masculines are being able to open up in new ways.
Now, what about relationships? I just listened to an interesting Facebook Live that a friend of mine did right before I got on here, and she was having a conversation with a guy about, um, oh my gosh, there's my brain fart. Thank you, Pluto, whatever. Um, she's having a conversation about relationships, and a lot of women are have become so strong over the past few years that there was this push to find your twin flame, to find your divine partner and all of that. And now it feels like these women are just kind of like, no, I'm good. I'm good here. I don't really need that. What are you seeing and feeling out there?
That makes sense. I mean, I actually do a lot, my channel, part of it is for the masculine, feminine, twin flame dynamic, because I've had an experience that pushed me into that back a few years ago. But yes, I think that's a healthy progression that's showing the feminines have tempered whatever their initiations were, because those dynamics are, I believe, intended to help us balance out and harmonize our inner energies. And I don't think they're meant to be needy. So as we come into our own alignment internally and stay in alignment with that, I feel like that will bring in the alignment of a partnership that's more tempered and balanced and harmonious, and not necessarily out of need in the old dynamic where we needed that balance, but from a place of want and connection and um, growth. So I feel like the
Mm.
fact that the feminines are dropping into that is actually a big part of why the masculines can let go a bit and kind of step into whatever their healing process or transformation process is. And I guess my vision with that, or what I kind of sense energetically, there will come a point as we keep progressing that those types of partnerships that are more harmonious will be able to come together.
Mm. Mm. Beautiful.
But in
Um,
the new energy that we've all been hopeful for.
yeah, right?
Mhm.
Okay, now I kind of have to hear your story.
Oh, yeah. Which part?
The twin flame relationship that you had
Wow.
and what you learned
Okay.
from that.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Um, well, interestingly, I first learned about twin flames way back, like 2004. Like I was in a bookstore and I was single, and this book called out to me. It was early on before I even got into this work. And something just resonated about, it was called Twin Souls. And I started reading it, and I just felt like it was part of my journey. Um, not having any idea where that was leading, but I did start working with the principles and energies. Um, I had thought a past relationship was a twin, but that happened multiple times. I started to look at all of my relationships as a mirror. Even,
Mm.
my ex-husband, like I knew he wasn't my twin, but I looked at the dynamics and I worked with it as that mirror to learn as much as I could. And right as I was exiting my marriage, in came what I now am, I wouldn't have any other way to attribute it but so much of a twin flame dynamic, which was funny because about a year before that, I started to think that the twin flame journey was like a sham, that it was just an internal journey. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I totally just, like I respected it, but I didn't really know that it was real, and at that point, I was just happy to be learning internally, so I didn't really care. And then here I get this huge initiation. Um, and it's been 3 years since, and I'm definitely still working with the energies of that.
Mm.
Um, but a lot more tempered now. Um, it really showed me the places where I still hadn't healed a lot of my childhood trauma. We had like almost identical childhoods. Um, Also was interesting having no idea. We actually knew each other and dated when we were 13.
Oh
And
my
I,
gosh.
yeah, and I had no idea that it was him, but in retrospect, once we came back together, there was a whole bunch of things throughout the years that started to make a lot of sense. But I found it so fascinating how our higher selves, even though we lived 5 minutes apart, had kept us so in different pockets until the timing.
Wow. Wow.
Um, and even now, it's like we're 5 minutes apart, but very much in our own spaces.
Wow. So was
Yeah.
he on any kind of spiritual or awakening journey?
No, he didn't know about any of this stuff. Don't think he believed any of it, but at the same time, very, very much experienced it. Um, the Yeah, like we were experiencing the teleportation, the telepathy, like really strong. So yeah. Yeah.
So so what are your hopes for another relationship? Do you see one in your future? Do you have an intuitive instinct that he's there
Oh,
somewhere?
every day I feel him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting though. He's in another relationship. So it's been this process of really just dropping into that surrender and acceptance. I do feel with all of the work that I've done at some point, I'm hopeful to come in some form of a healthy, harmonious partnership. But I've also kind of dropped into the acceptance of just allowing that. You know, I'm aware there's that potential, but I'm also just, I'm still sorting through that fully. I think it's an ongoing process because the energy and the connection is always shifting.
Mm.
So,
See, I'm married right now, but I have some single friends
mhm,
that are also waiting for their person to show up,
mhm.
and in the meantime, kind of like some are dipping their toe in, maybe some dating apps, others are just like, well, I keep hearing he's going to show up. I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I've actually been exploring those things myself and having conversations, and I really just follow my intuitive guidance. I'm not shut down. I'm open to, a connection as long as it's in alignment.
Yeah.
And so far, my guidance is just hold steady. Like I've been open to it, and I've had some conversations, but intuitively it was just keep going, just stay in my alignment. And that's what I'm paying attention to above everything. Um, I'm just open to my intuitive guidance around it and staying open to that alignment and really what I want, and not settling.
Yeah. Yeah. That's key right now
Big
on
time.
every level, not just for
Yes.
relationships.
Yes, actually, absolutely. I did a message about that. I think it was last week where it's like I have a lot of space in my life now, a lot. But my guidance is to leave it just, to be open, but not to just try to fill it in. Even,
Yes.
I used to be more of a workaholic, like we were talking about with the business, like trying, like there was things I could do, but now it's like, you know what? Unless I'm guided, I'm staying right where I'm at. Because I feel
Absolutely.
like that space is there for a reason. That space that we've created in our life was for a reason. And so allow it to be there so that the things you're actually wanting have space to drop in.
And it's interesting that exact thing happened to me earlier this week. I had a pretty much wide open week, except for a couple pockets here and there of some work. And all of a sudden, I got dinged to write for an anthology, write a little piece for an
Mm.
anthology. And I'm like, gosh, if I filled up all my space, there's no way I would have been able to pull that off in a couple
Yes.
days, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Or like creative, the pull for creative is huge lately.
Mhm.
And I know you felt it because I saw some beautiful artwork on your Facebook page.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely um I think a lot of that goes into being present too. The more present we are with ourselves and in our body, you know, having this space does allow us to be present and for whatever is there in the moment, right?
Mm,
And if we're moving into that, I've had this analogy on my channel, where I was shown like being present is like being in a boat. And if most of our energy is in the present and it's not getting rid of the past or the future, but they're kind of like the oars, right? Like guiding us and, you know, showing us what direction we want to move in the present. But also, like, if you're thinking about the past, like, take the time and be present with it, you
mm,
know? Or if you're dreaming about your future, take the time and be present with what you're manifesting for the future. So that presence energy, I know in the way things used to be, it's like you want your schedule filled up and you want to know that you're busy and you have all this stuff. And now it's like just, more and more being called to that. And I think that that's why our schedules are more open. And like the more of us that do it, I feel like the more those alignments will happen, like even coming on your show.
wow, that's perfect. All of that is so perfect. It makes so much sense. And it also it allows you to lean into the flow, which I'm big with that, where you can just kind of like, okay, oh, I see a breadcrumb here. I'm going to follow that and see where that goes. And yeah, it could just be the universe going, create that space so I can take you where you need to be.
Yes. And I feel like that's where the new creations and connections have a chance to kind of come in. But
Mm,
we're not used to that much space because before we were squished
yeah.
energetically, and now those of us that have created this space, um, I think sometimes it's almost like we planted the seeds and we're waiting for the sprouts to come up. And so it feels like, but we've been planting the seeds all along. And really, if you stop and think about it, the work that we've been doing these last few years really is pretty huge. And I'm looking forward to see what we've created.
Yeah. Yeah. I would really like to see where it goes. Do you have this happen to you? Like, I do not watch any news, read any news, but occasionally I will see things pop up on social media and then get sucked down a rabbit hole. And I see a lot of kind of nasty predictions for our
Mm,
future. And I look at it and I just go, I don't feel it. I don't see it. What do you
same.
make of all that?
I feel, well, it's a multi-layered, but I feel like on some levels it's potential timelines, none that I'm ascribing to,
Yeah, right.
not participating in those on my end. But I think sometimes they come into our awareness so we know what's like maybe some people in the collective are experiencing, but also maybe as a little test, like what are you in alignment with, or what is it that you want? Um, a friend and I were talking about that. Like it just doesn't it feels like a movie. It feels like a
Yeah.
joke. It's like it doesn't energetically even feel real, especially these last few years. So it's like I feel like we're just supposed to keep going on our timeline and what feels right to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I really,
Because it's
I feel like the matrix is crumbling, and maybe
mhm,
that's part of it.
yeah. I feel like the more of us that aren't focusing our energy into it, or even, like I said, we're living on this planet, we're gonna see that stuff, but how are we interacting with it, right? I think it's really for me come down to what I participate in or not. I can
Yeah.
be aware of all of it and not participate in
Yeah.
most of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just observe it and go, like you said, wow, that doesn't even seem real. I mean, some of it is so comical that it's just like, how is that? How does anybody subscribe to that? It
Yeah,
just seems like a
right.
joke.
And I feel like that is where we will come in. Like, I think it already does happen to some degree where people notice our energy feels different because we're not in that pocket. And so I feel like that's where in time, as they're unraveling out of it, that's where our services and our support are going to be even more sought after.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And, you gotta take some credit for setting the example too, for all of those who are not really ready to dip their toe into this world yet, but
Right.
knowing theirs is pretty jacked up and they need to do something about it, you know?
Right. Yeah. It's interesting because when every now and again, I think back to when all I knew was the programming, right? It's all you know from life, that certain way of being. And then you start to open up to it in certain concepts or certain things now that are like not a big deal to me, scared me or freaked me out because I didn't understand them. So it's like I get those flashes of reminders of why, like, a whole way of living and it's the only way you've known. And then for someone or something to say, yeah, but it's all kind of bull, it's scary, and I think people need time to process that energetically. And, even with what we talked about with my, counterpart connection, I'm sure that there's a significant amount of that going on to go from not knowing about any of this to somebody having someone like me in his life. That's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
big, that's big, a big shift. So when I look at it from those levels, I can understand the need for big integration and understanding. So I guess that helps me remember that some of what the collective is going through too.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta believe you had some effect on that twin flame of yours that you're no longer with. I
Yeah,
gotta believe there's something going on in the back of his subconscious that's like unraveling. Because how
yeah,
would you be around somebody like you and not have some of that rub off?
yeah. Well, I mean, I think about how much he's shifted my energy, like, and the connection has changed me significantly, um, very significantly, and still in process. So, um, I'm imagining on some levels there's
Yeah.
something happening. I know when I talk to him, there was about a year ago, there was a, in between from when we split to now. And then there was a time we did connect for a while. And he was definitely processing and changes were happening. I think I think sometimes it would get too much, you know, and then that would have to, I guess maybe probably like our days where we're processing so much and we just have to go lay down,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, but well, we're all learning in our own ways. We'll see what happens.
absolutely. So talk about your artwork. Is that something you've been doing for a while now, or is that something new that you're getting into?
I've been doing it for a while on and off. I don't do it all the time. It comes like in pockets and it's definitely just intuited for the most part. And I just let it flow.
You have a
It,
beautiful piece on your cover of your Facebook page right now. That's just gorgeous.
oh, thank you. That what's interesting about that one is the blue and green background was actually the original painting I had in my office for years. It was just like a very spirit flowy energy. And then in January, I felt it was time to plant new energy. I was like, I need something new. And I grabbed it and it was like, I live in upstate New York and we don't get a lot of sun,
Oh my
especially in the
gosh.
winter.
No, you don't.
So I
Wow.
was like, I need some sun in my life. And it just channeled out of me. And so I was like, no, I got the sun every day. And but it was just, I think it was like also the morph of my energy. It's like a way that I express, I guess, what's happening within me on the canvas.
Mm,
So, mhm.
beautiful. I was wondering if you'd be open to sharing any of your modalities today with the audience. Anything that you feel called that you might want to share, card pull, intuitive tapping
Hmm.
in, or anything like that?
Sure, I do a combo. Give me 1 second. Let's see
Oh,
what comes
absolutely. Take
through.
your time.
Just like to ask what would be the most supportive for Linda's audience to receive physically, spiritually, emotionally, in the highest alignment. Let's see. Hmm. I was Earth magic, removing obstacles came through. And I just
Mm,
intuit it to like the pictures, the energies. I feel like this is connected with what we talked about around the feminines really dropping in to the physical, into the earth, um, feeling more centered and grounded in somewhat, I don't want to say because like I was saying, I feel like the feminines are actually balancing out their inner masculine and feminine, and then being able to ground in into that feminine essence in a whole new way. And this is bringing back, this might go with your 6 month message. Around September, I received a vision that actually, as the feminines stepped into their receptive energy, that was actually going to support the whole earth in healing, in a sense, like the actual physical earth being able to heal because it would allow the earth, Mother Earth, to be able to receive in new ways.
mm,
And then it would bring balance and harmony into the masculine and feminine essences. And it does feel like that's what we're really moving into. So, but I'm also finding that the masculine's energies and their connection to the earth is shifting. I was getting those messages, and actually the conversations with Todd, um, he was expressing that his connection with the earth was shifting as well, that he had been aware of the earth, but he felt started to actually feel the essence of like the energy of the earth as like a being in a new way. Um, so it does feel like the more I feel like that connects in with the more we're present and the more we're embodying our energies into our physicality, um, that's supporting the overall transition. I was wondering if when you first asked, I was thinking of doing like a little like meditation,
Do it.
energetic
Do it.
visioning. So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like around this would be supportive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So wherever you are, just allow yourself to get comfortable and take a few nice deep breaths into your body and into your belly as we call in the support of our highest creator, your higher selves, and the essence and energy of our Mother Earth. And I'm sensing a beautiful giant golden sun moving down towards the top of your head. And this golden sun is just filled with all of your own higher self essence and energy, and allowing your essence and energy to just completely surround and support you in beautiful liquid golden waves of light, the most perfect temperature for you as it just moves down all around your body, supporting and releasing any energies or worries or burdens that are no longer needed. Just allow those to unravel out of your system. You may even see or feel or sense as the golden waves of light pour into your body that any things you are ready to release just start to unravel right out of your cells, out of your nervous system, out of your organs and your chakras. I'm sensing things unraveling right out of the nervous system and the spine as it makes more room for your higher self essence to drop right in, seeing and feeling and sensing these golden waves of liquid light just streaming down into your nervous system, feeling the support of your own higher essence and energy as it's moving through and surrounding your physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. And as that golden energy continues to move down your spine, all the way into your sacrum, and throughout the rest of your cells in your body, with each breath that you take, you're inviting this essence deeper and deeper into your body. And at the same time, Mother Earth is ushering up your Earth star right beneath your feet, almost like Mother Earth's giant, beautiful, gorgeous hands are bringing up your Earth star. In a combination with your energies and your connection to the Earth and the support of Mother Earth's love, we're going to ask to gently unravel any of the past ancestral patterns or past life patterns or collective earth patterns that were living within your earth star that are ready to be released or unraveled. We're going to ask for those to gently be unraveled and dissolved. You'll always have access to any information that you need. This just simply allows any of the heaviness or the burdens to be unraveled. And it opens up more and more space for that golden higher self energy to drop in through the rest of your body, down into your earth star. And if it feels right, I can feel some of you are ready to expand significantly, just allowing that to move all the way down, even into the core of the earth, if you would like to allow that to stretch out, to allow all of your higher self energetic roots, the parts of you that may have never been fully grounded into the earth, but you've been working with. Allow those energies to have a safe, sacred space to ground in and embody into the physical earth. And feel the support and the protection and the love of Mother Earth as her hands and her love surround and support you, and anchoring and stabilizing more and more of your higher soul essence. And feel as those energies stream through you, and allow those new roots to stretch out and have all that new space. Allow yourself to ground in and stabilize, allowing those roots to go as wide and as deep as they would like to. Knowing that the more that you ground and stabilize and center, the more space you have to expand upward and outward. And as these energies integrate, just allow your whole energetic body to expand, almost like a tree. Like the leaves are going up into the sky and the branches, and the roots are going down deep into the core. And give your whole soul the space to expand as far and as wide. This feels good for you. And know that you're surrounded and protected within your own pillar of golden light. From that giant golden sun connected to your soul star, all the way into your personal earth star. Just allowing those energies to completely absorb that golden energy. I feel a significant amount of energetic expansion through systems. And for those of you that have felt connected to your Kundalini energy within your physical body, you may have an awareness that this feels like it's activating that full stream from your connection to the Creator through all the dimensions into the core of Mother Earth. And obviously, anything else that you experience beyond what I'm sharing. Trust your highest self above all and know that you're receiving exactly what is in perfect alignment for you. And even if you see, feel, or sense things in a different way, just allow your own subconscious to lead you and guide you and trust that. Feeling and sensing as these energies move up to source and down to the core. It's also really opening a huge heart space to allow more and more of your energy to just feel comfortable within your own physical body. And allowing the golden energies or any other colors that you're seeing or feeling or sensing to activate and support within you. And know that each breath that you take, you're activating more and more of your own soul essence. And that you can do that anytime you want to, with your own breath and your own voice, bringing in the sounds and the essence to activate more and more of who you are. And I feel guided to direct each of you individually to work with your own soul star and earth star and your golden portal in whichever way feels perfect for you. And allowing that to continue to integrate over the next days and weeks. And as you feel called to work with Mother Earth and the Earth energies, allowing more of yourself to embody into your physical vessel and onto the earth. You may find as you work with this energies that you like to move. You might want to move, like go for a walk. Sometimes when I'm going through these embodiments, I'll almost feel even a little awkward in my body, but it's just as it's dropping in. And as I walk around the block or two, it's like it settles in. But just honor your body in whatever way you feel called, with rest, sleep, nourishment, movement, sound. I thank Mother Earth and Creator and everyone who will connect with and receive these energies. And just take a moment to feel the energies in your body and notice the shifts. And that your energy is in your body in a whole new way. Thank you. I think you're on mute.
He had to come enjoy your
Aw,
energy during the middle of it.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Mine's
totally.
sleeping in his little hut. Sometimes he
Oh,
pops up here, but he's
I
passed.
I wish mine would sleep in somewhere. Every time I'm in here, he's got to be a part of it.
Oh yeah, that's they share their energy.
They really
That's
do. They
awesome.
really do.
Yeah.
When you pulled that card earlier, I got the message of trees, and I'm thinking, what does this have to do with the card she pulled? And then you go into this meditation, talk about the roots and everything. And then I got the message, remind people to be more like the trees.
Mm,
You don't always have to be saying something. You can just be present and witness. You can just move with the energy and the wind and whatever comes your way instead of, trying to fight against it. Trees have so many beautiful lessons for us. So I just
yeah.
wanted to share that.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. That's awesome. I love it. And it's funny because yeah, there's no trees on here, but what could be more representative of Earth and
Yeah.
we're doing?
And then, well, it was beautiful because you walked us through that,
Yeah.
digging our roots in and then expanding out. And I'm like, that's why I heard that.
Yes, co-creation.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
That's
So, do you
awesome.
have anything coming up, Danielle, or anything you want to share with people? I'll put all of your information in the description box. But if you have anything you want to share right now that you have going on, that would be great.
Right now I'm mostly focusing on sharing my videos on my Harmonious Hearts YouTube, which is free, obviously. And I'm just focusing on one-on-one sessions right now.
Okay.
Sometimes I do groups, but I'm just being called to really focus on the one-on-ones and do the videos. Um, so yes. And I don't know if you're open to it, I can pop this on my channel too with your information, if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely. Not a problem
Sweet.
at all. All right, my
Yeah.
dear, I appreciate you coming on today and letting
Thanks for
me
having
bumble
me.
through this crazy energy. I just feel like I'm
Oh,
like, get in my body.
well, I think you did awesome. So
Oh,
thank
thank you,
you.
my dear. I appreciate you. Bye,
You too. Take
everybody.
care. Bye.